Good morning. I'm assuming you can hear me. I'm here. There's some music. Hi, happy Wednesday. It's hump day on the Morning Night Live. My gosh, what happened to my voice there? I sound like a 13-year-old. Anyway, I hope you're having a great morning. I am. I'm here on time for a change, and I'm happy to see you. Lots of people strolling in. I know it's going to take a while because I didn't give you that 20-minute buffer that I usually give people. So people will roll in eventually, but I'm glad those of you who've made it already have made it, and I am ready to start the show. So we're going to talk a little bit about some marketing that the I don't know if they're transactions. I'm just saying some of these hospitals are doing to make the transing of children. Now, I say children loosely. I realize they're, in theory, they're not, doing surgeries on 9-year-olds, but they say they're not doing it on minors. And I'm sorry, there's hundreds of examples of people under 18 getting certain types of surgery. So we're going to talk a little bit of how it's being marketed a little bit to the public in some kind of nefarious ways. And they're just leaving out certain information because people only read the headlines, but we're going to read beyond the headlines today. Plus, we got a lot of other news. I'm not going to talk about the potential for World War III after that pipeline mysteriously broke over there near Germany because I don't have enough information. But boy, that doesn't look good either. Anyway, but we have plenty to talk about having nothing to do with that. So how about we play the intro and get this bad thing started? Let's go. Play the intro, Johnny. Stop that music.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog Studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, yours truly, P. Dog Night.
Oh, yes! Let's get it going. Holy moly, stop the music, please. Thank you. Good morning and welcome to the Morning Night Live. I'm your host, Marty, also known as P. Dog Night on the internet. Welcome back to the P. Dog Night channel. What that crap music? I know the music was too loud. I knew. But it's off now. Come on now. Anyway, it is Wednesday, the 28th of September, 2022. Still recovering from a little jet lag from being over in Europe, which I think I probably got it. I probably chose a good time to leave Europe. Me and Lady Boomer and our friend Kay. We, because boy, there's some shit happening over there. Woo, boy. I just noticed I'm a little fuzzy there, aren't I? I don't understand why every time I do an update on StreamYards, it messes up my stuff. It really annoys the hell out of me. But anyway, whatever. So, how are y'all doing today? I hope you're having a good morning. Like I said, I got HB good last night. You did. I haven't gotten to listen to HB for a while. I see what you said there, Gunfox. I haven't caught up. When you're 7 hours off of your normal sleep because of the time that you're in a place that's 7 hours different time zone, it's not easy getting back to it, but I'm doing my best. I'm doing my best. All right, let's say good morning to everybody and get this thing started. Now, what I didn't do, I didn't even tweet out the show. Oh my gosh. Well, that's because I didn't leave myself that 15-minute buffer. If anyone would be happy, would tweet out the show, I'd be happy to retweet you and just use your stuff because I didn't do it. Anyway, let's say good morning to those who are here. First in the chat today is Rotten Corpse. There you go. You get the bell. And also, God dang it. This thing is, let me fix this right now because that's terrible. What the hell was that? Could you hear that? Or was it just me? Am I boomering again? Let's try this. Hang on. Oh, it was there. Well, all right. Anyway, good morning, Rotten Course. Thank you for being here. Let's see. Let me check the notifications. Somebody already did tweet out the show, I'm guessing. And I'm having, oh God, this computer is driving me nuts. No, it's driving me nuts. Anyway, I'll do a notification after the show. Hey, come watch the replay. Also, good morning, Aaron Meredith. Good morning, Rachel Madhouse Dildo. Every time. Good morning, D.I. Fredo Watcher. And I'm sorry the music was so loud. That crap music. That was some great music. And some 2010s vibes to it. I don't know. Also, good morning, Rock Hopper, Fred from Down Under. What's up? And good morning to, is that everybody? Oh, no, here we go. I'm strolling down. Maddie's in the house. Also, good morning. Let's see. Jim Beam, what's up? Asian Research Director at Zombie Teddy, one of the original viewers of the Morning Night Live. Well, early viewers, I should say. Hate Camel and Johnny Hillcat were the first two. Damian Gershwin, what's up? Marty, I need to borrow $60,000. You and me both, man. After this trip, I'm broke. Holy shit. Even though we didn't, Anyway, Gunfox61, what's up? Europe and Airstrip 1, aka UK, are going to get bent over and rammed with no lube. Yeah. It's kind of looking like that. I don't know, man. And also, yes, I saw that Russian and Chinese warships spotted in U.S. waters, kind of, near U.S. waters. Are they in U.S. water? I haven't gotten any updates since then. Let's see. Jethro Hetero, what's happening? Peggy Laswell, what's up? Who's talking about the Chinese ships? Tyrannius, Alexandrius, Invictus Soul is in the house. Nice to see you, Ty Alexander. Good morning. Also, Woodcutter. Did I already say Woodcutter? No, I did not. Good morning, Woodcutter. And Straight Sith Male and Septus Wolf. And whoever else strolls in, whoever else is lurking, I'm happy that you're here. I'm glad you made it. I am just, it's going to be slowly because, like I said, I did start usually I start the stream like 20 minutes before I actually start, so people can actually get the notifications and get in this room. There'll be people jumping in all morning. So like I said, I'm not prepared to talk about what? Okay, wait, where am I here? A team of winter Shetland ponies and beer. Yes, because they need to be shaved and wet. I'm not okay. I don't know what you're talking about there. I'm curious. I gave you a news story about the Chinese and USS subs to HB. Yeah, tomorrow's going to be pretty much a Discord show, so Gunfox, you're going to blow up my whole entire brain. By the way, I got a new cup when I was in Austria. Look at this thing. This is pretty fancy schmancy. And what's funny is stuff like this. Granted, it was just in one of those goofy little gift shops, but it was pretty cheap too. I was surprised how certain goods are very inexpensive in Europe, and while others are not. But anyway, I do have my cup of reparations, and I'm happy. Good morning, Avocados Diablo, aka the Devil's Advocate, and also Jeffrey Russell Jr., and I see you showing up. So my topic today, I noticed a couple things on the Twitter machine. And I know, not everyone likes Twitter, but one of the things that I like about Twitter is I often get breaking news on Twitter. And so that's kind of why I like it, because things happen and it's like new and it's happening right now. And you're just like, oh, wow, I might be the first person to talk about it because of that. And so I often like to go to Twitter for my news. Now, let's see. Florida Congressman Byron Donalds is giving people some advice. If you're in Florida or anywhere near Florida, please be safe. Get out if you can. I think it might be too late because the hurricane's coming through. But a couple things that you need to know, and it's important information. I'm going to show you this because this is what Representative Donald said. Generators, when used incorrectly, are extremely dangerous. Keep your generator away from windows, doors, and vents. Do not use inside your home or garage, even if doors and windows are open, because there's going to be a chance this hurricane is going to knock out some power, so people are going to be using their generators. Do not use your generator inside. It can kill you in minutes. The exhaust contains carbon monoxide. This is a poison you cannot see or smell. So keep yourself safe if you lose some electricity, if you're any kind of natural disaster. Hello, Mike Savage. Blarg. That cup was banging. Yeah, this is a cool cup, isn't it? I mean, look. Oh, hang on. I'll put myself back on here. I want to show you the cup again because this is a great cup. I got several. I got 4 new cups while I was in Europe. I got this one while I was in Vienna. Again, it's all Austria, but also has all the several of the city seals. So, for example, where's the one that's the wolf? Oh, I don't see the wolf one. Oh, this one. I think this is the one for Vienna. I'm not sure, but the seals for the different cities and stuff is really cool. All right, let's see here. Also, Ron DeSantis met with. Here, let me copy and paste these links to the end of the thing here so that they're available in the description down below. Also, Ron DeSantis meets with linemen ahead of Canadian. DeSantis is out there prepping hard. Now, we'll talk about how the communication between the White House and the Florida governor was going. It wasn't going for a long time. Apparently Joe Biden was talking to different city leaders in Florida, but wasn't really talking to the governor of Florida. So Ron DeSantis has been out. I didn't show you that. Has been out ahead of the game, ahead of the hurricane, and doing some things that he should be doing. Then eventually, I guess Biden eventually talked to him. Like I said, I'll talk about that later. But here is Ron DeSantis. Apparently, is this live? I don't know. It could be. Oh, no, it is live. So these are the guys out here talking about what they're doing in preparation for any eventualities. Let's take the mute off of this. Well, apparently this isn't working. Anyway, Hurricane Ian strengthens into a Category 4 storm, closes in on Florida. It was Category 3 when it went across Cuba. Cuba, by the way, is completely without power. The entire island. Oh, except for the places where the ruling class are. They've probably got generators and shit, but for the most part, the entire island's without power right now. Not a great surprise, I guess. But I thought, a socialist haven like Florida or like Cuba, you'd think that they would already have their power back because it's a socialist paradise, right? Not so much. All right, this ain't working, so I'm gonna now watch this. Oh, let's try this. I don't know why it's not working. This is not user error. This is me needing a computer upgrade. And let's see. Here we go. Let's see what they're saying.
Sources and toolkits for businesses before, during, and after.
Boy, that's really soft. Okay, we keep getting the star of death, so or the circle of death, so I'm not gonna try. Anyway, DeSantis is out there trying to protect his state. What the hell is this? Oh, for fuck's sake. Headline: Lizzo plays a 200-year-old crystal flute lent to her by the Library of Congress. Bitch, I just twerked and played at James Madison's flute from the 1800s. Lizzo is one classy musician. No. Did you know that this is the first trans hurricane Ian identifies as a blizzard? Wow. Just wow. I'm no comment. Anyway, this is the kind of shit you get when you scroll through Twitter. The word spy appears in the article one time, and it's only to describe Pompeo's old job. It gave you 4 opportunities to be honest, and you declined. I don't know who he's talking about. Oh, I see. He's having an argument with somebody. What the fuck? I can't. I'm not doing it. Let's get into the topic of the day because that was too damn weird. And I don't... Okay, I just want to see what the hell this was. I don't want... Or maybe I don't. All right, let's just forget about that. Hello, Jaeger Pony, my favorite Canadians in the house. Arnold Schwarzenegger signs Auschwitz Gets book with Terminator catchphrase. Ew. Oh, the stories of detransition have to be heard, but politicians and doctors. Oh, well, this is going to be, this just fits with the topic today. Let's scoot that right over here. I wasn't even planning on that. So let's talk about how this whole trans topic of children. I don't give look, it's early in the show, so I can't swear too much. I don't give a horse's hoof about what adults do with their bodies, body mods, and this and that, and they gotta feel good about themselves because they're gonna go cut things off and make holes in their ears and get tattoos all over their eyelids and cut units off and sexual organs off and try to tape some new ones on and shit. I don't care what adults do. But when it comes to children, by the way, we're going to talk about this with my guest on Thursday, Jay Thomas, who's going to be my guest, or excuse me, on Friday, my guest, Jay Thomas. I'm going to have a little powwow with her today to talk about what we're going to talk about. But she's an activist on this kids trans nonsense. The stuff's going on, which is, honestly, there's no such thing as trans kid. In my opinion, I think kids need to go through their, the bumps and bruises of puberty and then figure out what they're going to do, because most kids who make decisions prior to that have no idea what the fuck they're talking about. They don't know what they are. And generally kids do not, they're dumb. They're shit. They're dumb as hell. They don't know anything. And most of them change their minds by the time they get through puberty and realize, oh, I might just be gay, or I might just be normal, and this was just a phase, and there's too much marketing of this whole thing to me that's trying to tell me, well, I'm not really this, that, you're not the person, your body you were born in and shit. I don't buy any of it. Okay? Now, that's my personal opinion. And I think that is the majority opinion around the country, around the world, around everything that goes on. But there are people out there who seem to be very much pushing the idea that this is all good and wonderful and normal, and everything we do is to help kids not, end themselves and shit like that. And so there's people out there, it's almost like it's a marketing campaign. And so there's been a lot of backlash with hospitals because some of these people on Twitter and other places are pointing out that some of these hospitals say they're not doing anything to minors, happen to be children's houses that are doing some of these things to minors, i.e. Hormone blockers, hormone replacement therapies, surgeries while they are still minors, like doing double mastectomies on perfectly healthy kids as young as 13 and 12 sometimes. But they deny they're doing any surgeries, but then they themselves tell you that they're doing them on kids as young as 13 years old. And in some states, they can do it without parental guidance or permission at all. In the state of Washington, you can't even question a 13-year-old who says, you know what, I want you to cut my testicles off. You know what I mean? So, hello, Johnny Hellcat, original viewer of the Morning Night Live. So, I saw this article. Now, let me show you the tweet first, because this is the tweet that popped up right here from somebody called Pith in the Wind. And he's talking about somebody named Aunt B. Now, Aunt B has a Twitter account. I didn't realize it. I didn't even look at Aunt B's Twitter account. But look, again, this day absolutely requires a disclaimer, by the way. Let me give you my disclaimer that the approved disclaimer on the Morning Night Live about when I talk about people on the internet. And it's very important, so this is going to be front and center. Excuse me. I need a sip of my coffee. I'm going to read it as it's written in my description down below. Important. The people I talk about in my videos and live streams are just normal people with various opinions in their own lives. I do not need help defending my positions, thus would strongly prefer you didn't contact them. If you have something new to add to the conversation, I'd love to hear it in the comment section below or in the chat. However, if you feel compelled to reply to them directly here or on a different platform, I only ask that you do so in a respectful manner, as your treatment of them can also reflect on me. They always figure out where you came from. So there's my disclaimer. I ask you, and I don't care, personally, I don't care if you see something that they wrote and you respond, but just, try to keep it civil and don't involve me because I'm not part of it. So anyway, here is this thing I saw this tweet from this person who pointed me to an article in something called The Nashville Scene. Writes Aunt B, it's good that we have a place where kids who are dealing with huge decisions and far-reaching implications can speak with medical professionals. Now, what does that mean? So I pulled up the old article from the Nashville Scene right here, and here it is. We are lucky as a community to have a pediatric transgender clinic. Now what? A pediatric transgender clinic. Now, what does the word pediatric mean? Well, let's look it up. Pediatric. Well, let's look at pediatrics. Definition: the branch of medicine that deals with the care of infants and children and the treatment of their diseases. Medical or hygiene treatment of children. Also pediatry. That branch of medical science which treats the hygiene and diseases of infants and children. So, the article is talking about a pediatric transgender clinic. Children. I obviously don't mean infants necessarily. At least I hope not. I don't know. It's getting the slope has been extra slippery as of late. Now, they continue. We have a place where kids who are dealing with huge decisions and far-reaching implications can speak with medical professionals. Now, professionals is a interesting way to use it. Now, this is in Nashville. This is regarding Vanderbilt University, because Vanderbilt University had some controversy as of late because they are also one of these places in that children's hospitals where they are talking about, I'll just say some marketing regarding transgender children. Okay? Let's read the article. I want to write about the rights attack on transgender kids and people who provide them medical assistance. Now, that right off the bat is inflammatory and a straw man. No one's attacking transgender kids, okay? No one's attacking transgender kids. Now, most of us on the right think it's an oxymoron anyway, and the people who provide the medical assistance. Now, yeah, we got some questions for you people. Absolutely. But let's read on. But I have to be honest with you. I'm depressed about it. It feels like, for the vast swath of us, words have no meaning. So it doesn't matter which words I arrange how. It's not going to matter. Doctors and therapists who are trying to help trans kids are still going to be called groomers and mutilators. Parents who live every day with their distressed kids who are trying to find some way for them to be in the world and thrive are called abusers. It's not true. And we could take all the time, we all could take the time to refute it, but the whole point of them doing this kind of thing is to cause us to waste our time doing so. Well, not the whole point. I'm sure right-wing activists. Now, this is funny because it's not just right-wing anybody. There's a lot of questions about this whole idea of surgeries on kids that is not right-wing at all. There's a larger, in fact, many gay, lesbian, and bi people have some questions about this. Many on the left have a problem with this. Many feminists have a problem with this, although they malign those feminists, calling them TERFs. TERFs, that's their insult. They're TERFs. Hello, Zach Osborne, and hello, why are you so angry? So anyway, let's see. I'm back to this. I'm sure right-wing activists and media personality Matt Walsh's intention and Tucker. Oh, no, she doesn't go. Listen to this. Oh my God, I didn't even read the sentence. I'm reacting to this live. So anyway, I'm sure right-wing activists and media personality Matt Walsh's intention, and Tucker Carlson's for that matter, is to put people in danger. That's interesting. I'm sure right-wing activists and media personality Matt Walsh's intention is to put people in danger. Is it? Are you serious? How about maybe his intention is to draw attention to this very, very suspect practice? Maybe it's his intention to save people from this seemingly Frankensteinian practice, this Mengele-esque practice. You know what I'm saying? No, it's not to put people in danger. It's to draw attention so someone stops you assholes. But that is my opinion. I'm not sure how to even respond effectively to it. You say nothing and ignoring it and hoping lack of fuel smothers the fire. But trans people hear your silence and feel unsupported. No. In fact, there are plenty of trans people who think this is nuts. But anyway, the children part. Now, they don't think the trans part because they're trans. They're adults who became trans when they were adults. But this is different. But saying something isn't going to change the minds of people now determined to shut down the pediatric transgender clinic at Monroe Carroll Jr. Children's Hospital. I think that's connected to the Vanderbilt University. Do you think Governor Bill Lee or any of the Republicans quoted on Scene reporter Hannah Herner's story from the other day are persuadable? Do you think they care about contradictions in their worldview? Oh, how about some contradictions in your worldview, honey? Every single Republican legislator in the state serves with a dude who admitted to behaving inappropriately with children. Your point? He can go in the woodshed too, or excuse me, the wood chipper. Hello, TC. And none of them care enough about children to do anything about it. Are you sure about that? So miss me with this "we must protect the children" bullshit. They're all hypocrites and grifters. Oh, is that what it is? Are you serious? Is that what you think it is? And what are you? Tennessee continues to vote for them because other grifter hypocrites tell us that God told them to tell us to. Really? Again, straw man. Thank you, Ty Alexander. Oh, you set up a monthly. I didn't even know I had that available. Well, thank you. This sounds monstrous, and I hate myself for thinking it, but in 5, 10 years, these children are going to be very bad places, and these monsters will be long gone. Wait, what? Long? Or off to the next trendy thing. I'm not a religious, but God, please smite these cunts. Well, Ty Alexander, thank you for the small bullet in the tip jar. And you are the new Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. If you want to sponsor the show, over there, go to pdognight.live. That's the Streamlabs link, or Super Chats or whatever. I'm very happy with both, and I appreciate those of you who are sponsoring the show. All right. So she's going to continue on here. But I'm not going to say what I'm going to say. Oh, but I'm going to say what I'm going to say anyway. Well, who cares? Just say it and shut the fuck up. Because silence, the appearance of neutrality, favors the jerks. Oh, we're jerks? Huh. People cutting off body parts aren't jerks, but you're a jerk. We're jerks. You and me. We're jerks, but they aren't. They may win, but they shouldn't get to say everyone was okay with it. It is okay to initially be confused by the idea of transgender people. We're not talking about transgender people. We're talking about children. On one hand, once you know to look for transgender people, you see them throughout the history. No, you don't. They keep changing. They're changing history. On the other hand, Our medical knowledge about gender has been very rudimentary until very recently. Women have been described as having hysteria, basically a blanket term for anything wrong with us that doctors couldn't fix for thousands of years. We are susceptible to all kinds of mental and physical conditions because we have uteruses. Hysteria has a root in hysteria, the Greek word for uterus. As recently as the Victorian era, people knew that hysteria was caused by a woman's pissed off uterus wandering around her body. It was basically a mixture of Freud's work, and the trauma of World War I that led medical professionals to decide that men could also have hysteria. You'd think this was a victory for feminism and common sense, but some people argue that this was because through mesmerism, angry uteruses could affect anyone they wanted to, regardless of whether the uterus was housed in a person or not. Hysteria was not removed from the DSM until the third edition in 1980. Okay, the history lesson here is irrelevant to what we're talking about. I got to tell you, but she's trying to explain that. Oh, this is all normal. There have been trans people forever, and they should have been cutting off people's titties for forever. I don't know, bitches, and some men be crazy. Am I right? Was a legitimate medical diagnosis until 1980. A huge portion of medical knowledge about cis women was the equivalent of a shrug emoji until I was 6 years old. Even now, there's so much we don't know about cis women because we just studied cis men and assumed it was applicable to all people. Hence why we're just learning, for instance, that cis women have different heart attack symptoms than cis men and may not recognize that we're even having a heart attack. Now, look, that medical history between the difference between men and women, I think it's important that we did do more research on women's medical history because there's different things. Oh, wait a minute. Whoa. I just thought of something. This person in this little diatribe here just acknowledged a difference between men and women. Interesting. Physiological differences, for that matter. Oh. Interesting. And she's using it in the binary sense. Is there a difference? How about heart attack symptoms for non-binary people? Are there differences? No, because they're physiologically women. Duh. Anyway, even the conventional categories of woman and man aren't some fixed, easily definable thing, really. Most of us grew up being taught there are two genders. Men have penises and women have vaginas. But there are intersex people. Yes, 0.017% of the world have the anomaly of being intersex. Extremely rare anomaly, just like some people have Down syndrome. Are you saying they're a different type of person or gender, whatever? No, they have a physiological anomaly that they were born with. Now we used to call it a birth defect, but they get very offended when you say birth defect. A physiological anomaly. She goes into this shit. So I'm going to skip this part because this is just stupid that she's bringing it up. 0.0018 or 0.1. No, it's 0.0018% of the world has intersex conditions. Extremely rare. I bet there's more Down syndrome people than there are intersex people. Now, there's even a case of an XY female getting pregnant and giving birth twice. There's a lot. Okay, so you mean a double XY? Because sometimes double X, some of these conditions where they do have a Y chromosome, but multiple X chromosomes are still physiological female. But again, you're talking about the exception. That's like when they say, well, you can't be against abortion because, someone might have a tubal pregnancy. That's a different medical condition. That's not, but it is extremely rare. If you take all the abortions and you say, okay, fine, we'll make an exception for that. How many abortions will that stop? Well, it's really about 0.5%, but still there's a possibility. Oh, well, what about that other 99.05%? that are just elective, like, which, you know, and again, I'm not even against abortion 100%. I mean, early in stages, you know, I morning after pill, which is before the, you know, the zygote or whatever you call it, implants. I have no problem with that. I just think at a certain point it's barbaric, and we had to figure that out as a society when we're going to allow that or not allow that. But anyway, tangent. Sorry. All this is a long way of saying that, but if medical science has been men equal important to study, women equal question mark for the past 1,000 years, you can bet that anyone who is somewhere between those two categories, in the traditional sense or in your new definition of gender, anyone who's somewhere in between those two categories or who slides from one to the other has not been a blip on the radar as patients worth studying. Well, physiologically, you're male or female, which, you know, like, for example, your little heart attack example up here, that's that's physiological. You can't change it. So what the fuck are you talking about? Anyway, at the beginning of the 20th century, Magnus Hirschfeld, this is a long freaking article. I want to get to the marketing part, because the part up here, this is something about, where's the Aunt B thing? Because they're talking about rights. Oh, this is Aunt B. This is Aunt B herself. Betsy Phillips. This is Aunt B writing this. Aunt B, by the way, and again, this is an article written by Betsy Phillips. I haven't told you who Betsy Phillips is yet, though. Anyway, she goes through this long article, hemming and hawing about this and that. Let's go along with. But let's keep talking. Listen to Aunt B here. Of course, Governor Lee doesn't see it that way. Oh, I'm sorry. So here we are in new territory. People who have only been able to openly live as trans for short times. Kids being accepted as trans is a new thing. Accepted by who? Or encouraged by who? Look. Because this is so popular, hello Maniac Man, because this is so popular right now, because you are so protected by being trans these days, do you think it is desirable for some kids who may just be on the outskirts of, you know, the hip crowd kids, whatever, that they can be protected by being trans, or you can get attention? Because who's getting all the attention these days? Oh, it's trans kids. They get all the attention. So do you think there might be some incentive for kids to explore the idea that they might be trans? Because, boy, you just praised and you're so brave, and you get the, you know, oh, you get a special closet to go change in. You get extra attention from your teachers. Everyone makes a big fuss about you. Well, wow. Another kid sees that and goes, well, you know, I'm not feeling good about myself. Maybe if I could get that kind of attention, maybe I'm trans too. Anyway. You know what I'm saying. So here we are in New Terra. People have been able to only live as trans for a short time. Kids being accepted as trans is a new thing. I wonder why. What does it mean to be a transgender kid who is able to live as their authentic self? Isn't that a bit of an oxymoron? We don't really know yet. Well, wait a minute. Oh, whoa! We don't really know yet? What if you're wrong on your assumptions that you're making, that we don't really know yet, but you're making some assumptions here, I bet. But if kids have the support of their parents and access to therapists and doctors who specialize in transgender healthcare, this is great. This is the best case scenario. You don't need to understand it or approve of it. It's not your business. What if I'm a parent who has questions? Is it my business, or are you just going to tell me that I should have CPS come and get me? Of course, Governor Lee doesn't see it that way. Back to Herner's story, where she writes, quote, the pediatric transgender clinic at Vanderbilt University Medical Center raises serious moral and ethical and legal concerns, Lee said in a statement to the Daily Wire, which recently relocated to Nashville and where Walsh hosts a podcast. Oh, well, that's why he's a little bit salty about Matt Walsh. We should not allow permanent, life-altering decisions that hurt children or policies that suppress religious liberties for the purposes of financial gain. We have to protect Tennessee children, and this warrants a thorough investigation. Well, are you against a thorough investigation of this? What are you saying here, woman? You're saying it shouldn't be? Oh, wait. That's a quote from Governor Lee. So she continues, well, this should go out without saying, but we let kids make permanent, life-altering decisions that hurt them all the time. It's called football. Wow. Wow. You're thinking, wait a minute, allowing him to play football is the same as cutting off a body part? She continues, if you have top surgery and later regret it, that's a hell of a lot easier to repair than a brain riddled with chronic traumatic encephalopathy. Wait, are you serious? Wait, how do you repair top surgery? When she says top surgery, she means a double mastectomy at the age of, say, 13, 14, 15, or whatever. How do you repair top surgery? And what is the let's go with this. The rate of football, because you say the decision to make football. What is the percentage of those? What did she say? She said chronic traumatic encephalopathy. What's the rate of chronic traumatic encephalopathy for the decision to play football versus the permanent removal of breast tissue in a double mastectomy in a trans kid? What's the... I don't think she has an answer for that, but we'll keep going here. The memory loss, the suicides, the violence against family members. What's the rate of that versus the rate of suicide among people who have double mastectomies? I'm going to guess one is higher than the other. Hello, infamous one. What's up? I'm going to guess, again, one is higher than the other. The decision to make again, she said the decision to play football versus the decision to have top surgery. Football, top surgery. Top surgery, all of them get that breast removed. Oh my God, this is unbelievable. That's a weird comparison. I'm just telling you. We all know what's caused by bashing your head. How many of us spend our weekends watching kids bash their heads? Well, I was a director of youth football in my local football community athletic program, right? We didn't have a single kid injured in 4 years that I was director because we were very strict about how we taught kids how to play football in a safe manner. And that didn't happen. And you know what? I'm guessing that every single kid who has a double mastectomy probably has some, at least a good number of them have complications that have nothing like football. But anyway, so she goes on. Part of being a teen, one scary part of being a teen is that they will make grown-up decisions with grown-up repercussions without the perspective that comes with being a grown-up. Really? So are you saying maybe they could go get a tattoo too? I don't know. And some of those decisions will be hard to live with. This is why we are lucky to have a community, to have a pediatric transgender clinic in town. We have a place where kids who are dealing with huge decisions and far-reaching implications can speak with medical professionals. I'm sorry. Again, there's a big difference between choosing to play a game and choosing to have permanent altering decisions to your body. That we don't have a lot of research on the long-term effects of some of these things, i.e. puberty blockers, which is an off-brand use of a certain pharmaceutical that is used to do chemical castration to sex offenders. Or to slow the puberty in early onset puberty. Not just regular old puberty. Holy shit. This is amazing. And she continues, we have a place where kids who are dealing with huge decisions with far-reaching implications can speak to medical professions. They can find support and have their questions answered. They can hear from adults who have perspective they don't have. Are you including detransitioners in those adults? Are you giving them all the information or just the information that'll get them into your hospital to get them I'll get to the dollars part in a minute. This isn't like those pray away the gay camps or wilderness child torture programs. What? Where kids are lied to by their parents and sent off to strangers who abuse them into conforming to their parents' wishes. Oh, so the parents are the evil ones here. Is that what you're saying? This is a place where families and kids and medical professionals with appropriate training come together to help trans kids figure out how they're going to live in this world. Again, are you only giving them the perspective of those who have been okay with it throughout? Or are you giving a full realm of perspectives? I doubt it. You can think it's weird, you can think it's gross, but those thoughts are for inside your head, inside in the privacy of your own mind. But out here in the real world, if people are trying to help kids find a way to live happy lives, it's not your job to come along and make it hard for them as possible. Your judgment is not needed. Really? What if it's my kids? What if it's my kid and not your kid? What if it's my kid? Can I ask for a little more information than just what you're telling me? Because it seems to me you are gung-ho about this. And then she finishes like this. Once a long time ago, I knew a guy who told me once that if feminists wanted to end rape, we should push for legalization of prostitution so guys could just go out and take out what? So guys could just go to them and take out their urges. I think prostitution should be legal, but not so that men have a subsection of women. It's okay for them to rape. What? Wait a minute. If prostitution is legal, that's not rape. What are you talking about? Anyway, that's really gross. But the longer I pay attention to people, the more I think that a lot of us want a similar bargain. We want to hurt people, but know that if we hurt the wrong people, it could go badly for us. So we keep trying to make deals with the rest of us for there to be some segment of the population it's okay to hurt. That's some word salad. Right now, these folks are saying, give us trans kids to hurt and we'll leave you alone. That's what you're saying. They're asking for child sacrifice. Let them have trans kids to destroy and our society will be better. But no, fuck that. If Governor Lee is going to demand the sacrifice of the health and well-being of trans children, no words I say are going to stop it. But I can say that I recognize his barbarism as that. Barbarism. You're advocating for removing body parts on kids between the ages of 13 and 17, minors. You're advocating for the use of puberty blockers on kids, which can permanently sterilize children. Even the director of the World whatever something trans health, World something says that using puberty blockers during stage 2, what did you call it? Stage 2, removes the ability of a child, or as they get into adulthood, removes their ability to have an orgasm, to have normal sexual relations. And you are saying that maybe putting on the brakes and having them wait until perhaps they are adults, and after they've gone through puberty, which we're finding studies here and there that's saying, hey, you know, a lot of these kids will just naturally desist, meaning no longer be trans. They go back to being normal once they go through puberty, and a lot of them end up being gay, a large percentage of them, because, you know, gender nonconformity. Remember, you're not supposed to have these gender roles. If you go to Target, they don't have a boys and girls section for toys anymore. They just have them all mixed in all together and hoping that will make your kids realize that they're not a boy or a girl. But if they pick the wrong toy, oh my God, we better go transition them. We better put them on puberty blockers. We better cut off their breasts at age, 15 because they chose the wrong toy. Or a toy that you think determines their gender, even though they're not supposed to be girls and boys toys. But when it comes to gender, if you pick a girl's toy, oh, now you're a trans kid. But if you say, oh no, well, no, we don't think that, that's barbarism, according to Betsy Phillips, aka Aunt B of Vanderbilt University. Now, who is Aunt B? Who wrote this article? Aunt B, Betsy Phillips, marketing and sales manager of VU Press. What is VU Press? Why, that's Vanderbilt University. This is her marketing piece. Come on, bring those kiddies in here if they have questions, because our professionals only have one track once you get here, and once you decide that you're a little bit gender non-conforming. Remember, gender is a social construct. It's not real. It's just something that we put together. But you know what? If you choose the wrong toy, you certainly could be transgender. Betsy Phillips, the marketing and sales manager. Yes, the marketing of transgenderism to children and their parents. What a world we live in. So, I have more. I probably should have saved this for Friday, and Jay Phillips and I can talk about it. Not Jay Phillips, excuse me, Jay Thomas. But we'll get there. So I have more though, because by the way, here's Matt Walsh, who happened to talk about this thing. Great point, Aunt B. Kids who are confused about their gender should go to a place where everyone they talk to has an enormous financial stake in making sure they transition as early and quickly as possible. What a wise insight. Yeah, see, they should come to Vanderbilt University, where we specialize in this stuff, where we sell this stuff. We put you on permanent medical a permanent medical regimen, because if you stop, your transition stops too. And then you could have even worse medical problems when you go off of it. But no, yes, Aunt B, the marketing and sales person at Vanderbilt University, yes, they want to make sure that you transition as early and quickly as possible, because, we're going to get some of them sweet, sweet trans dollars. And someone else mentioned, now he didn't find this, somebody else found this, but yeah, he mentioned Aunt B as the marketing director. Affirming those who are deeply confused about who they are only reinforces their misinterpretation of reality, leading them deeper into the abyss. Reality does not kneel to an individual, they will remain lost until they face it. Yeah. Anyway, but moving on, let's talk about this next article, because CBS News is getting into the marketing and of this, and it's kind of funny. Before that, first, our longtime sponsor, American Company, you are the new Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day. Thank you very much, American Company. I believe Gunfox is related to the CEO. Now, 50% off on wood chipper parts, repair, and grade A cleaning. This week, use the code MARTY and get a box of bags for free, American-made, mob-approved. Thank you, American companies, for sponsoring this show. You are not only a great American, but you are American companies. There you go. You are the Streamlabs Superstar sponsor today. So here's CBS News has this article out too. Now, listen to this, because if you didn't take the time to watch the article and just saw, hey, there's a study on this, a study on trans people. Did I say good morning to Data Wasteland? Did I say hi to you yet? I meant to. And Maniac Man, welcome back. Nice to have you back. And I said DC. Okay, I think I got everybody else. Anyway, thanks for joining me today on The Morning Night Live. By the way, just a reminder, you are the sponsor of The Morning Night Live. Hit the like button. Share the stream before, during, after the show. Sponsor the show over there at pdognight.live. That's the Streamlabs link where you can watch the show, participate in the chat, and donate to the cause, because oh my God, that trip cost me a lot of money. Anyway, by the way, I will start posting videos from the vacation on my other channel, which is called Marty's Big Journey. I'll start putting links in there's a link in the description down below to Marty's Big Journey, but I haven't posted on that a lot. But I've got so much material, and I've got a new way to edit those videos where they're not so long and boring, so you can just see some of the cool stuff we saw on that vacation and a bunch of our daycations. So check out Marty's Big Journey. It's in the description down below. All right, CBS News is getting into it though now. They tweeted this, and you know how most people don't read articles? They just look at the headline, or they look at, they kind of look maybe at the first couple paragraphs and go, oh yeah, see, there's a study that says this, this, and this, but they don't really know what the fuck they're talking about. I can swear now because it's long enough into the stream. So CBS News tweeted out, the quality of life of young trans masculine people, that means girls who've basically had double mastectomies, dramatically improves. Now listen, again, I'm going to say this again. Listen to this. This is the part of the headline, and this is the main point of the article. And then we're going to read the article and show you how very detailed and comprehensive this study is. It's very, very detailed, comprehensive study. So I want you to make sure, I'm telling you in advance, it's very detailed and comprehensive. The quality of life of young trans masculine people dramatically improves. The quality of life dramatically improves after receiving top surgery, a mastectomy procedure that removes breast tissue, aka a double mastectomy, excuse me, young trans masculine people, according to a study by Northwestern Medicine, one of the premier universities, the United States of America, Northwestern University. I mean, one of the great schools in America, right? Probably a top 20 school of all the schools in the United States of America. Northwestern, a great school, also a Big Ten school, a private school north of Chicago. Fantastic school, right? Wow, there's a study by Northwestern University, Northwestern Medicine, that says the quality of life dramatically improves when these young kids have the trans masculine people, dramatically improves after they have a double mastectomy, which they will call top surgery. They don't like to say double mastectomy. They say, it's just top surgery. Now, you would think that this study has been following people after, 20 years. Then they've got people that studied, hundreds of thousands of people they've studied, and they got this is a great article, right? Let's read the article. I'll have a sip of my coffee here. Now, again, the headline, if you didn't see the tweet, but you just saw the headline again, top surgery drastically improves quality of life for young transgender people. Study finds. So there's a study that says top surgery drastically improves the quality of life of young transgender people. Here we go. Buckle up. The quality of life of young trans masculine people drastically improves after receiving top surgery, a mastectomy procedure that removes breast tissue, according to a study by Northwestern Medicine. That's the same as the tweet. That sounds just like the tweet. It's repeated over and over and over. Dramatically improves the quality of life for these young trans masculine people. The study, published by a peer-reviewed journal, the Journal of American Medical Association Pediatrics. It's peer-reviewed. It's a study that's peer-reviewed by Northwestern University, and it's the JAMA Pediatrics on Monday, is the first. Wait, you mean they didn't study this before? This is the first time they've studied this? Interesting. Is the first to show, wait a minute, or maybe they have studied it before. This is the first to show that top surgery is associated with significant improvement in chest dysphoria, gender congruence, and body image in transmasculine and non-binary teens and young adults. Wait a minute. Transmasculine and non-binary teens and young adults, Northwestern Medicine said in a press release. Wait a minute. This is associated with significant improvement in chest dysphoria. Wait a minute. Gender congruence and body image. That's not quality of life yet. I didn't say that's just the significant improvement in chest dysphoria, gender congruence, and body image. Okay, that confuses me. Why they didn't say did significant improvement in quality of life? Okay, let's go on. Here's the study. The study here. In fact, I'm gonna link the study, but I'm not gonna go through it. The study compared two groups of patients ranging in ages from 14 to 24. Whoa. Where are all these people that said they're not doing surgeries on minors? How is there a study on ages ranging 14 to 24 if they're not doing surgeries on minors? I thought a minor was under 18. But I digress. One of the groups of 36 patients received top surgery, double mastectomy. And a control group of 34 patients received gender-affirming care but did not get top surgery. 3 months after surgery, the patients who had the procedure experienced significantly less chest dysphoria than they had prior to surgery, while patients in the control group experienced around the same levels of chest dysphoria as they had at the start of their care. So, I'm certainly hoping there's more to this, because 3 months after surgery, patients who had the procedure, meaning their breasts removed, had less chest dysphoria than they had prior to surgery, while the patients who did not have their breast removed had the same levels of chest dysphoria. We don't know what levels that is. It could be mild chest dysphoria, or it could be very severe chest dysphoria, but we don't know. They had around the same levels of chest dysphoria. I don't know what that means, as they had the start of their care. 3 months, okay? That's at the 3 months point. So I'm sure they've gone on to this study and they decided that they did 6 months and 12 months and 10 years and 5 years and all these other intervals, right? Not just, they must have done more than 3 months, right? Well, let's find out after I read Gunfox's donation. Thank you, Gunfox. I appreciate you. Gunfox says, a new study says terrorists live better lives after getting a lead pillow to the skull. It promotes a better plant life. That top removal of the study is full of shit. They can all go jump in a wood chipper or buried under a jail. Okay. Yes, I am going to just read it, and I'm not disavowing that. To be honest, I'm right with you. Thank you, Gunfox61, for sponsoring the show. Now, let's continue. Let's see what else they did here, because, okay, after 3 months, the patients just less chest dysphoria. Now, does that mean their quality of life was better? Is that, because what was the tweet? The tweet said, as soon as here, let's just go back to the CBS article because it said at the top here. It said the quality of life of young trans masculine people dramatically improves. But down here, it just says that they have significantly less chest dysphoria. Does that dramatically improve the quality of their life? I'm just curious, but let's move on. When we compared the outcomes of patients who received gender-affirming top surgery to those who did not, we recognized that surgery significantly improved the quality of life for patients, said Dr. Sumanas Jordan, director of the Gender Pathways Program at Northwestern Medicine. Okay, wait a minute. We recognize that surgery significantly improved the quality of life for patients, but you only asked after 3 months so far. That's your study. Is that the entire study? Prior studies have shown that chest dysphoria is a pervasive issue for trans and gender nonconforming youth. A study published by the American Academy of Pediatrics in 2021, researchers at the University of Rochester Medical Center observed consensus that chest dysphoria is a major source of distress and can be functionally disabling to trans masculine youth. This has been well documented in adult patients, but until now it hasn't been well described in teens and adults. Okay, you're still only at 3 months, though, said Jordan, who is the lead author of the Northwest study. How many? But you know what's funny? They still have a 40% suicide rate. Jay Pylon, what's happening? And good morning, K-Show, also. Okay. So, American Civil Liberties Union lawyer Chase. Wait a minute. Is that the entire study? 3 months? I'm looking. The article ends right here. They don't go any farther than 3 months. You got to be kidding you. Now, they pick out one Civil Liberties Union lawyer named Chase Strangio. Went viral on Twitter on Monday after sharing his own experience with top surgery, which he received in his mid-20s. There's not a day that goes by that I don't think about how it was the best thing I ever done for my survival, the tweet read. I also had orthopedic knee surgery at 14 and often regret it, but no New York Times piece about orthopedic regret, I see, he added, seemingly referencing the New York Times article published Monday about access to gender-affirming surgeries for trans people. Well, you know, Chase, you're not the only experience in this area. There are plenty of detransitions who are like, deeply regret having these surgeries. So this is not giving you much of a picture here. It's, 3 months in, I'm sure after 3 months, there's lots of people going, this is the greatest thing ever. And then they realize in their 20s, especially because you're saying 14 to 24, they realize 5 or 6 years later, they're like, what the fuck did I do? This study tracks out 3 months. Holy shit. Anti-LGBTQ bills have been seen a sharp rise in recent years, with transgender Americans specifically becoming a political talking point. No, the people who do the surgeries and all this stuff before they're adults. That's the part that we're talking about. According to Bloomberg Law, in the 2022 state legislative year, about 60% of all proposed LGBTQ health-related bills aim to ban or limit transgender-related health care for minors. For minors who can't make life-changing decisions. You don't allow them to get tattoos. They don't allow them to get breast implants at 13. Are you seeing any BBLs at age 16? Oh, a BBL is a Brazilian butt lift for those who don't know the acronyms. Access to gender-affirming surgical care can be life or death issue for trans youth. That's the way they sell it, by telling you that telling their parents that, well, your kid could commit suicide. Do you know that the suicide rate doesn't change before and after transition? There's studies of that too. But you see, this is CBS News pushing an agenda. Access to gender-affirming surgical care can be life or death issue for trans youth. A study published in the Journal of Pediatrics found that nearly 51% of female-to-male respondents had attempted suicide, while the average youth suicide rate is 9%, according to a 2022 study by UCLA. Again, I think it's 40%. I'm not sure if they have this. Well, that's that study, but the ideation doesn't change post-transition either. And these people realize they did something wrong. The ones who detransition after this happens, and there's, oh boy, it's funny they only mention Chase Stragio because there's a bunch of people. We'll find some of these people and interview them too. And look, some people are fully fine when they've transitioned as an adult and live their life great and whatever, and good for them. But it doesn't change the fact that it doesn't change the rate of suicide. It doesn't change that children who are having these modifications now, this is a whole new thing. They have no research on it other than now we have a study that says, oh, after 3 months, they just have a better life and everything's dandy and good and fucking great, right? Thank you, Thomas Cleaver, with a small bullet in the tip jar who says, kapow! What's up, Thomas Cleaver? Nice to see you, my brother. Welcome back. But access to gender-affirming surgery can be a major step in improving quality of life for trans people. Well, for 3 months it can be. Now we know we have a study that proves at the 3-month point, it can be, it improves their quality of life. Actually, it removes their chest dysphoria, which that might be the most improving quality of life that ever could be for a masculine trans youth after 3 months. About 6 months, 9 months, 10 years, 20 years. Well, Chase says for 20 years, but that's one person. And it's not a study. An analysis of 56 peer-reviewed works by the What We Know Project found that 93% of the studies gender transition improved the overall well-being of trans respondents. Are you sure about that? Because there's still a 40% suicide ideation rate. So I'm just wondering, 93% is discounting that 40%. Patients who choose gender-affirming top surgery feel better about their bodies, and it enhances their. This sounds like a marketing. Again, I said we're talking about trans marketing today. All right, let's go to the other way. I'm not going to get to any of the articles today because I've been talking about this the whole time. So here's that. Every article that I get to and don't get to are still going to be in the link in the description down below, second paragraph, where I put a one-tab link where all the articles and tweets and videos and whatnot will be in a single link. You click the link, it'll bring you to a page with every link to everything we go through and don't go through today in one convenient place. So at the end of the show, I update that during the outro, and I'll let you know when it's done. I also put it on the Discord server where I list all of my videos. All right, let's move on to here's here's the study by the Journal of whatever it is, Journal of American Medical Association, Pediatrics Division. But still, again, findings: non-randomized, multi-center prospective control match study showed that top surgery was associated with statistically significant improvement in chest dysphoria, gender congruence, and body image at 3 months post-surgery. At 3 months post-surgery. At 3 months post-surgery. Wow, that is a comprehensive study. I'm telling you, comprehensive is all get out. All right, let's move on. Let's see. Now, not everyone is on board. And here we have the, why is this doing this? There we go. Here we have the University of Oklahoma health plans is ceasing of certain gender medical services for minors after state threatens funding. This is from the Daily Caller. As soon as it pops up, come on, let's go. Today, what's up? Come on. What the hell's going on here? Let's refresh. Let's try refreshing. See if that works. I really got to get this worked on. Oh, well, I'm going to wait for it. Wait for it. I wonder if this is the internet heathens trying to suppress the Daily Caller. Good God, what the hell's going on? Let's try it a different way. Let's close that. And we will try to open it again. Nope, it's my computer. Let's see what happens here. There we go. Oklahoma Children's Hospitals ends gender medicine services after state threatens funding. Oklahoma Children's Hospital will stop performing certain gender medicine services on minors. OU Health told the Daily Caller in a statement Tuesday. The hospital, which is part of the Oklahoma University Health System, provides a wide range of adolescent medical services, including for sexuality and gender identity issues, according to the Oklahoma Children's Hospital website. However, OU Health told the Daily Caller that current gender program is facing cuts to its available services. The OU Health senior leadership team is proactively planning the ceasing of certain gender medicine services across our facilities, and that plan is already under development, OU Health said in the statement. Oklahoma House of Representatives added restrictions on Monday to special session legislation that would prevent Oklahoma Children's Hospital from performing gender surgeries on minors at any of its locations. The Oklahoma House Conference Committee approved the new version of Oklahoma Bill HB 1007 on Monday that will restrict the hospital's ability to perform some gender services, including hormone therapy and sex reassignment surgeries on minors, according to the bill. I'll put a copy of the bill in the links today, which right-click and open a new tab. Oh, it won't let me open a new tab. That's weird. Let's try this again. There we go. I'm not going to read it, but so on. So that's interesting. There is pushback, and there's pushback. Now, okay, I want to show you, though. This is what I want to show you down here, this part. I'll skip this because this just tells you more about it. The treatment, here it is. The bill's new version prevents OU Health from using any of the $39.4 million of the hospital's new mental and behavioral health facility is set to receive from the American Rescue Plan Act for the benefit of any facility owned by the University Hospitals Authority or University Hospitals Trust performing gender reassignment medical treatment on children under 18 years of age. Honestly, if I were a counselor, I'd say, you know what? How about we wait until you're 25 when your brain's fully developed? But 18, you're legal. If you want to do some shit to your body that you think is going to help you and that doctors have fully informed you, but you better do more research than what the doctors tell you because they're trying to sell you some surgery, baby. Again, just like this, the plastic surgeons got the billboards. I wouldn't be shocked if these guys start putting up billboards. Hey, we'll transition your kids. Anyway, treatments include interventions to suppress the development of endogenous secondary sex characteristics, intervention to align the patient's appearance or physical body with the patient's gender identity, and medical therapies and medical interventions used to treat gender dysphoria, the bill states. Oklahoma City Children's Hospitals boast of being the only interdisciplinary clinic in the state that provides gender-related care to patients under the age of 16. I thought we weren't doing this to minors. That's what everyone tells you on the internet. Oh, they don't do this to minors. Oh, they only do it with parents' permission. Oh, they don't do it in states where minors don't have to have parents' permission. Oh, they don't do this to anyone who's a minor. 16 is a minor, right? The hospital website states that it offers Roy G. Biv program, the Roy G. Biv program, which helps adolescent patients to benefit from services like pausing puberty to further explore gender, managing gender affirmation hormone therapy. Did I say that? Managing gender affirming hormone therapy, helping to find surgeons who perform gender affirming surgeries on minors. So the state of Oklahoma says, stop that shit. Good. And there's the bill from the state of Oklahoma. We'll skip that. Also, now Independent Women's Forum also has an article on this. Wait, it's left side, no, full side, right? There, that's... Anyway, it's after top surgery hormones, female detransitioners decide she wanted to be a mom. So... this is a woman who did have one of those surgeries that probably didn't get featured in the CBS article. 3 years into her transition, Daisy Strongen was committed to being trans until I die. Growing up as a young girl in Elmhurst, Illinois, she thought they were real trans people and fake trans people because she struggled with uncomfortable feelings about her gender from a young age. Daisy was convinced that she was definitely one of the people who was not faking it. Indeed, she was so convinced that at 18, Daisy obtained testosterone through an LGBTQ plus clinic in downtown Chicago. 2 years later, at 20, she had a double mastectomy. So this is even after she is a teenager. At the time, Daisy wasn't concerned about the side effect of removing her breast or taking hormones, which healthcare providers at Howard Brown Health in Chicago scarcely mentioned. That's partly because the physician assistant who prescribed Daisy's testosterone focused more on anticipated aesthetic changes rather than the potential risks Daisy would face, including heart disease, mood swings, and a permanently deeper voice, vaginal atrophy, and infertility. I kind of told myself I'd never be pregnant because I'll be a man, she said. As if Daisy ever changed her mind, she figured she could just do surrogacy. But a year after surgically removing her breast, Daisy started to experience regret about what she'd done to her body, feeling that coincided with her meeting the man that she'd soon marry. Suddenly, she started thinking about wanting kids all the time. Wow, a girl in her early 20s having the urge to have children. That's so unusual. I've never heard of that. It became really important to me, she said. Daisy Googled surrogacy costs. It was like $90,000, she recalled, the number that left her really, really discouraged. Then I remember thinking, I have a body that can get pregnant. I could just do that, she said. Unless what I've done to myself has made that not the case. Daisy was on testosterone for 3.5 years. While she wanted to know more about her fertility status, she was too scared to see a fertility specialist and possibly receive the news that she's infertile and that it was her own fault. That was really my worst nightmare. But to her surprise and delight, Daisy got pregnant. After being married less than a year, she gave birth to a healthy baby boy, Gabriel. In August, and announcing his birth, Daisy said, I've never felt more grateful for my husband, my body, and for the sheer gift of life. The process of detransitioning was in some ways more difficult than coming out as a transgender. Beginning her junior year in high school, Daisy convinced everyone, including her parents, to call her a boy and use male pronouns. In addition to taking cross-sex hormones and removing her breasts, she changed her name and sex on her driver's license. She openly documented her progress on YouTube. Aside from getting a phalloplasty, which entails doctors removing the vagina and creating a fake penis using skin taken from the forearm, thigh, or back, Daisy had done everything to transition. So she did not have a phalloplasty. She did not do that. But she did everything else that she could, still never felt right. My dad started calling me his son, Daisy added. Anyway, you can read the rest of Daisy's story, but the thing is, she wants to breastfeed her child. She can't now because she transitioned. So, I think I had more today, but I really got, this is one of those subjects that just is driving me crazy. And like I said, my guest on Friday, we'll talk about it. She's one of the activists who is fighting some of this stuff. And Jay Thomas, and I think you'll enjoy listening to her. She and I have had some clashes though, because we've talked about, I've talked kind of about the feminist roots of this, and she's new to feminism, but we're gonna have a little bit of discussion about that. But I'm so excited to have her here because she's cool and fun to talk to. So anyway, other things that I'm gonna get through, just a list of what else is gonna be in the tabs. I'm not getting to it. Yesterday we saw the conversation between Thomas Massey and regarding Ray Epps and Jamie Raskin, who was saying, "Oh, why are you harassing this poor schmuck who got caught and found himself in the wrong place at the wrong time?" Talking about Ray Epps. Well, I have the link to the tweet where Thomas Massey's entire testimony. How long is it here? It's about 7 minutes long, so I'm not going to play it today, but if you want to see the rest of that video, it is going to be in the link down below. Let's see, what else do I have? Boy, this is the thing. You got to read this thread on this guy, though. This guy, if you want to know why some of the things are wrong with Los Angeles, this is Patrick Soon-Shiong. He's a doctor and biotech entrepreneur with reported net worth of over $8 billion. Well, he bought a piece of the Lakers from Magic Johnson. He owns the LA Times, which, despite its failing circulation and revenue, remains an important civic asset. Well, his daughter kind of took over the LA Times. She's kind of one of these left-wing activist type peoples. And it's just a fascinating thread. I wish I could go into more, but she was part of the defund, kind of that defund movement. And plus she got to run the LA Times because her dad owns it and kind of forced them, everyone at the LA Times, to kind of go along with that kind of stuff. Not everyone there was there for it. And so anyway, it's a very interesting story, multiple tweets, and how she's shaping politics in Los Angeles towards very socialist candidates and things like that. It's a great thread. I encourage you to read it. Also today, this was interesting. This guy, Triple Darkness, and retweeted by Sonny Johnson, who I love, Sonny Johnson. Homeless Black Americans are being displaced from shelters for immigrants. This is the fault of blacks who told us to vote for Kamala and vote blue no matter who. Let the grassroots continue to change the narrative. So this, because the fight for breaking out in New York shelters as tensions among homeless rise amidst the influx of those poor asylum seekers who just found themselves walking across the border in a manner that didn't say they were there for asylum, but they've relocated them a lot to New York City. And so now the city hopes to plan and build relief centers strictly to help with the intake and services for migrants. Now, what's interesting about this, okay? Oh, shoot, that's what I meant to do. What's interesting about this, this is a Black American talking about how blacks are being replaced. Because it's kind of, because they made a big deal about replacement theory, right? But if you talk to black people and understand the demographic changes in the state, it's not white people who are being replaced in certain areas. It's black people who are being replaced, and we don't like it. And so it's just an interesting thing. You got to read about it. Also moving on, in PJ News, Pajamas Media, there's an article about DeSantis blasting Biden over the pre-hurricane snub. We don't have time for pettiness. That's not the article though. Let me make sure I put the article up here instead of, what the hell? Stop that. There we go. As Florida braces for Hurricane Ian, Biden spoke with Mayor Castor of Tampa, Mayor Welch of St. Petersburg, Mayor Frank Hibbert of Clearwater, but not Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. Now, what the hell? The governor is the one who coordinates state resources. Anyway, during a press conference later in the day, DeSantis addressed the lack of direct communication from the White House, noting that while he has gotten the necessary support from FEMA, he has not heard from Joe Biden. Go figure. Anyway, now Biden did eventually talk to Ron DeSantis. I think that's what this article is. Oh, no, that's something else. Anyway, he did eventually talk to him. There's some articles here. Tim Ryan says Americans need to give up gas cars. But Tim Ryan, I think he's the Democrat representative from Ohio. He drives a 2020 GMC Yukon, which gets about 14 miles a gallon. So, but he thinks Americans need to give up. He wants to ban, in fact, gas vehicles. But, he also has a $70,000 BMW that whatever. So anyway, he's a hypocrite. Also in the tabs today, also in the Daily Caller, America Jews lose trillions as the markets dies. Well, the New York Stock Exchange dies. Now, look, if you're into stocks and bonds, and especially if you're in like index funds, do not panic, especially if you're younger and if you're investing in a 401ks or whatever they're invested into the stock markets. Look, they go up and down. Especially if you're under 40, just leave it alone. Don't look at it. Just disregard it. Okay, when you're in the retirement age 40 years from now, I'm sure you'll just be fine. If you're close to retirement and you are taking dips, so you're still probably up from the last 5 years, you might want to look at it more closely, move to more what you would call less risky investments. Do that. I'm not a financial advisor, but I know enough to be dangerous. But yeah, the stock market's going down, and Mr. Biden is not having good good reviews because of it. Anyway, thank you, Black Hebrew Israelite, for sponsoring the show. Who says, Black Hebrew Israelite, dropping a deuce in the tip jar. What's that smell? The groomers are saying parents shouldn't have a say in the sexual teaching, whether to sterilizing minor children before puberty, because they may commit suicide if we don't let them disfigure themselves. But it is horrible for us to expose butcher doctors. Yeah. This is, again, it's a subject that is big right now. And for some reason, it somewhat has a political bent to it. But if you really look at everyone who is discussing this and against what's going on in our society regarding children and these different types of procedures, there's a wide array of perspectives that agree that this is not right. And so, again, Friday we'll have one of those people who, she and I don't agree much politically, but on this topic, we are eye to eye, baby. All right. Thank you, Black Hebrew Israelite. I appreciate that. Also in the tabs today, in the Daily Wire, Biden stinks on ice as inflation is already hurting holiday shopping. Remember that recession that they don't want to talk about? Well, let's call a spade a spade. Joe Biden's America stinks on ice, and it's likely to get even worse as Biden inflation is hurting your ability to give out gifts at Christmas this year. Yes, Joe Biden is ruining Christmas. Now look, I find a little humor in just saying that because, you know, depending on who's in office, there's going to be outlets that are going to blame one side or the other. And is it all Biden's fault? Not 100%, but yeah, he's pretty shit. Anyway, but I think it's just funny that the Joe Biden is going to be the Grinch that stole Christmas this year, especially with record high inflation. And got to figure out how to stop spending government money, but they just keep adding on to the bill. And you know what? We're going to learn. You go learn. You go learn. I'm telling you. So anyway, if you want to read about that, also in Breitbart, DeSantis team hits back after Biden deems vaccination as a vital part of hurricane prep. Did you see that clip? Joe Biden. Here, listen to Joe Biden. There's a hurricane coming to Florida, and never forget what Joe Biden thinks is important when there's a hurricane coming to you. Here it is.
Let me be clear. If you're in a state where hurricanes often strike, like Florida or the Gulf Coast or into Texas, a vital part of preparing for hurricane season is to get vaccinated now. Everything is more complicated if you're not vaccinated and a hurricane or natural disaster hits.
All right, so now that was not recently. That was last year when another hurricane was coming, right? But just a reminder, that's what's important. When a hurricane's on the way, you make sure you're vaccinated. Again, I know that's a year-old clip, but still, I think it's funny that he said that because all those people in Florida now, make sure you're vaccinated because, you know, FEMA may not give you any help if you're not vaccinated. No, that's not true, but it's a year-old clip. Thank you, Bill. Oh, Brett Hayes, that was you who said that. Hello, welcome to the show. Yeah, it's an old clip, but still, remember when he said that? That was funny, I thought. That was dumb. Also, CDC drops universal masking recommendations for healthcare workers. Oh, are they going to hire everyone back in all these cities now? The U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention quietly dropped its universal masking recommendations for healthcare workers last week. Quietly. They didn't tell anybody else, but they probably got the... I wonder if you're going to be able to go into a medical facility without a mask. In Minnesota, at least, you can still, if you go into any kind of medical facility, you still have to wear a mask. Except nowhere else in Minnesota do you have to do that, but except for medical facilities. You know, it's interesting too. When we were in, Regensburg, Germany, we were trying to find some cold medicine, and we found an Apotheke, which is a pharmacy in Germany, and man, we go to walk in the pharmacy. And the pharmacist got really angry. But the mask. You know how Germans talk. A mask. And, we brought masks with us because you never know where you're going to need a mask. And then we went in, and it still had a sign that they only allow 3 people in the pharmacy at a time. And he was very, very adamant that you have to wear a mask. So they went and got the cold medicine that they needed, and then we left there. But then we went to another pharmacy in Prague, and they didn't give a shit. We walked in, there's other people in there, whatever. They didn't care. So it's interesting. Different places in Europe. But I tell you, very few people wore a mask anywhere we went in between Hungary, Austria, Germany, and Czechoslovakia. Or, excuse me, Czech Republic. I got to remember that. Very, very little mask use anymore. Although there was interesting. So we're in a tour group, right? And don't need to see me for this. We were in a tour group, and on the last day in Prague, it was called Prague by Night, right? And so we're on this bus, we get off at these different places, and we go to this one building where there's a really nice observation deck overlooking the river, and you can see the palace up above the river there. And the tour guide was taking us into the elevator, and there was this American couple who were getting on, and he said, the tour guide's like, we can have no more than 6 at a time. And then, man, they had masks on, they were Americans, and they lost their minds. He's like, no, you cannot come in here. You can't come in here. I'm going to call the police if you try to bring them in here. And the guy's like, that's not our law here. So you can call the police, but we're going to take our tour group up, because if we only take less, if we did, 2 people at a time in the elevator, it's going to take us all night to get up to the observation deck. And so he had this little spat with them, and the Americans went off and bitched and moaned to the managers, and then we all went up in the elevators, and then they came up later with their masks on, and you got to have a mask on. But no, and in fact, in Czechoslovakia, they've had very little problem with COVID compared to other places. But he said, you never know. They're prepared for it, but whole different world in the former communist countries. So anyway, so they taken away mask recommendations for healthcare workers. Let's see. I'll give you a couple other articles, then I got to get out of here because I'm already late. Let's see. We've got illegal insurrection. The Pfizer CEO tests positive for COVID for the second time in the less than 2 months. We getting our boosters approved and getting kids vaccinated, whatever. The CEO of Pfizer test positive again. And back in 2021, Biden issued COVID vaccine mandates to contain the uncontainable virus. Pharmaceutical companies were touting the fantastic effectiveness of their vaccine, and Pfizer, for example, claimed 95% effectiveness as of November 2020. And yet, Borla is testing positive again. So, go figure. What else is going to be in here? Retailers opt for empty shelves to prevent theft. Yeah, a lot of stores, especially in California and other places, they're leaving their shelves empty, not because of low stock, but a concerning increase in theft that has pushed companies to put more products under lock and key, the Wall Street Journal reports. At one Best Buy in the suburbs of Houston, where hundreds of items like Bose speakers and Fitbit activity trackers are used to sit on the shelf, shopper will instead find small blue signs that read, "This product is kept in a secure location." Surging crime rates around the country are hitting retailers. The National Retail Federation's 2022 Retail Security Survey found that retailers lost $95 billion in 2021, mainly due to external theft and organized retail crime. Theft attempts at Home Depot are on the rise compared with before the pandemic. Home Depot Vice President on Assets Protection, Scott Glenn, told the Journal last year the supermarket giant Kroger, for the first time, listed organized theft as a factor pressuring profit margins. Starbucks had to close 16 U.S. stores this year because of drug-related incidents and other disruptions. So, yeah, crime is an issue that Democrats are trying to blame Republicans on. Hey, who's in power in most of these places? That would be Democrats. All right. In PJ Media, things you can't say on Facebook. This is a test case, not a test case, but it's a things people have gotten banned for. Mark Dice had something. He has a 2-week a pause, unspecified pause on Facebook because he fact checked something that the fact checkers on Facebook fact checked and found out that the fact checkers were wrong. And so now he suddenly got this little temporary ban because he's very popular. He gets a lot of hits on Facebook. And so they didn't ban him temporarily for something that he wrote or posted, but they said that they had to verify that he was who he really was, and his ability to use his Facebook page will be temporarily disabled until they are able to verify he is who he actually is, because he gets a lot of high traffic and they want to make sure that they are managing possibilities of misinformation. But he fact checked them, and his fact check on the fact checkers was 100% correct. So it's an interesting thing. But anyway, this is a story about how, let's see, March, I reported on a peer-reviewed study from the CDC that found significant instances of death and serious side effects from mRNA vaccines. The study, which was published by the UK-based medical journal The Lancet, found that 6.6% of all side effects were categorized as serious and resulted in inpatient hospitalizations, prolongations of hospitalizations, permanent disability, life-threatening illness, cognitive congenital anomaly, or birth defect. According to the data, the most reported adverse side effects were mild and short in duration, but deaths represented a stunning 1.3% of side effect reports. I thought at this time the study was safe enough to report because the CDC had long been held as the gold standard for information about diseases. Whatever they say goes. Surely if I report on a CDC study, Facebook wouldn't censor my article. Oh, how wrong I was on Monday, a half a year after I published it. Facebook informed me that my article violated their community standards on misinformation. This was the CDC study that they said was misinformation. Your post goes against our community standards on misinformation that could cause physical harm. You got to read it. Anyway, here's the rest of them. In the New York Post, federal ruling means Supreme Court. There'll be a Supreme Court showdown on big tech censorship ahead. Yes, that case in the fifth, I think it was the Fifth Circuit, where they have, it was in Texas where they have the ruling on not allowing you to ban people because of their political affiliations. The Fifth Circuit rejected the idea that corporations have freewheeling First Amendment right to censor what people say. Federal court upheld a Texas law that bars social media companies from taking down postings based on political view. For 2 decades, tech giants have claimed the constitutional right to remove anything and anyone from their platforms. But the appeal court said no. And what's interesting is when they did that, they cited Section 230 saying, wait a minute, aren't you a place where people post their opinions? So you're not, when you're taking down their opinions, you're not taking down your opinions. You can't be held liable for it. You're like a common carrier. And so that's the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals said. That's interesting because that's something Clarence Thomas was saying a long time ago. So it's going to be interesting. This will go to the Supreme Court, and some of these social media companies may have to dial it back when it comes to banning people for things they say. This will be interesting because there's, these are, again, if the Supreme Court says, no, you guys, you're choosing to be a common carrier. You're not a publisher. It's not your opinions you're putting on there. This is people speaking freely on your open platform. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes. Because they're a private company. They can ban whoever they want. Oh, well, that's interesting. If you're a common carrier, the phone company can't take away your phone rights because you talk to somebody, telling them to take that one drug that's supposed to be horse paste or some shit. They're not going to take away your phone service, although I'm sure they'd like to. Anyway, all right, Philadelphia's Democrat mayor signs a gun ban that applied to concealed carry permit holders. Yeah, that's constitutional. That'll be struck down by somebody. Also, Trump's first sham impeachment trial was unconstitutional, according to Jerry Nadler. He said it. We'll see. Good article in PJ Media. There's a couple others, but I don't have time to show them all to you. I'm going to get rid of that, and I'm going to get rid of this. Oh, we already did that one. All right, guys, I got to go. I am way over time here, but hey, I want to thank you for joining me today on the Morning Night Live. If you would be so kind, hit the like button before you go, or before you do anything else. Share the stream before, during, and after the show. Put a comment in the comment section if you're watching a replay, and sponsor the show. PDogNight.live, 24 hours a day, or Venmo, Cash App. That's in the description down below, or YouTube Super Chats during the show. But if you donate at PDogNight.live, not only do you get a nice, long opportunity to say whatever you want, you don't give 30% to Susan. So there you go. All right, gang. Thank you so much. I'm sorry I kind of lost track of the chat. You all have a fantastic morning and afternoon, or whatever time of day it is for you. I know, Mike Savage, you're about 6 hours ahead of me. It's like it's afternoon. Have a good afternoon there, and wherever you are in the world, I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you so much. My name is P-Dog Night, and I'm out of here. Bye. Bye.
Hey, this is P-Dog Night, and thank you for watching today on the P-Dog Night channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterwards so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all the supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through Streamlabs, YouTube, Venmo, and Cash App, which are all linked in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm P-Dog Night, and I'm out of here.